We just got home from a little last minute trip. I took my daughter and my 3 little boys to Pella, Iowa to see the tulips that are all in bloom there. My sisters and my mom and one of my good friends went along. And so this trip went into the beginning part of the week. And so I am playing catch up today. As you guys can see, our chickens are laying so many eggs and we are kind of behind, which is a great problem to have. We will definitely eat all of these, but I'm washing some, getting them all sorted and starting some bread. And I'm just going to be doing all the things around the house today. My husband was home with my older boys, and even though they did a good job of keeping the house while I was gone, there's always a few extra things to do and get done when the homemaker is out of the house. I often get asked how I get things done with kids, and honestly, there are so many things that I do now that I didn't do, or I guess I should say, things I do differently than I did when I had just a couple of kids. And there's certain things that as a mom of 7, I just don't worry about anymore. And one of those things has to do with my laundry routine and kind of my clothes system in my home. I am very minimal with the amount of clothing that my children have, and I do not worry at all about them getting clothes dirty or staining things up. I try to buy almost all of our clothes secondhand, so I don't spend a lot on clothing, and because of that, I feel like I can be less stressed about the clothing that they have. So on Sunday mornings, I put them in something nice for church, and then afterwards, some of the older kids will change just because they're more comfortable in play clothes, but I don't worry about changing the babies, and if they get all dirty and stained up, I just don't worry about it. I might soak things a little longer or use some stain remover to get it clean, but I just don't worry about packing extra clothes or worrying about what everybody's wearing at all times. I pretty much let all of my kids pick out and dress and do their own thing when it comes to clothing. So we are not this well put together where everybody matches or anything like that. I just don't put any stress or worry into that. And that was something that I kind of did more so when I just had a couple of kids. Today for lunch, I am making some Cajun chicken sandwiches. I had some buns going for that, and I breaded some chicken that I'm going to fry up, and I'm also going to make some homemade French fries to go with it. I want to take a quick moment to tell you guys about today's video sponsor, Colon Broom. Colon Broom is a high fiber supplement designed to support gut health, digestion, and weight management, all in a very easy and convenient way. It is made with psyllium husk, which is a natural fiber that can help with the gut microbiome. Over 83% of users report a lighter feeling in their bowels after just 4 or more weeks of use. Psyllium fiber has been shown to help lower BMI and promote greater weight loss compared to diet alone. It helps to reduce hunger and increase fullness after meals and supports bowel regularity and relieves occasional constipation. And the best part is that it tastes really good and it's very simple to use. You just mix 1 scoop in with some water and you can drink it once or twice a day. In just a few weeks, you can notice improved digestion, reduced bloating, and just overall better gut health, which we all know by now is extremely important for our overall wellness. I personally love how I feel after I take Colon Broom. It really helps to increase my energy. And like I said, it's so convenient and it tastes really delicious. So it's something super easy to add in to my routine. I know you guys will love Colon Broom as much as I do, so click the link in the description box or scan the QR code on the screen right now to get up to 65% off Colon Broom. The next thing I want to address is how I get things done with a toddler or kids in tow. And that's another thing that I think really just comes along with having lots of children that spread over a pretty big range of time. So my oldest is 12 and then my baby is almost 1. And so if I stopped doing things with kids, I would not be doing things for over a decade. So that's just really not an option. And I found that just bringing them along and doing things with them isn't quite as overwhelming, as stressful as it sounds. And so I don't really change or alter my schedule or the things that I want to do because of the kids. I just include them and they just come along with me or help me out even at home when I'm cooking. As you guys can hear and see, I always have little ones around and oftentimes I let them help out in the process. And even though when they're little, that can make the job actually a little bit harder when they are, quote unquote helping, it really does pay off in the end because when they get a little bit older, they can actually help for real. After lunch, I have my 2 toddlers down for a nap and I went out to clip some flowers, and my baby was not quite ready to nap yet because he took a longer morning nap, and that is something that would have stressed me out as a new mom and something that I don't worry about near as much anymore. I know that kids like schedules and routines, and I like to keep my kids on a routine because of that, but I'm also not overly worried about exactly when all of that happens, and especially with the baby. So as you guys know, I still wrap him a lot for his naps. He is slowly starting to take some naps down, and sometimes those aren't quite long enough, so then I'll wrap him for the second half of his nap. Sometimes he sleeps in the car when we're going somewhere for the big kids, and I just don't worry about it. I just let him kind of sleep when he sleeps, and then I know when he gets a little bit older, I'll put him on more of a routine. But that's a question that I get a lot from younger moms about sleep schedules, and that is something that I know as a young new mom, I put so much stress and worry in, and that is something I just don't put a lot of stress or thought in anymore. And that has really helped to free up our schedule, especially whenever we go into the summer and there's less obligations at home and with school. And so I will just let the baby nap on the way to the pool or the creek or whatever we're doing. And if we need to have an earlier bedtime that night, we will do that. And so far, that has worked out really well for my kids and really well for my sanity. I am making up a homemade all-purpose spray because I have some cleaning to do today. Our entryway is really needing some attention. This time of year, kids are constantly coming in and out with wet shoes because they hop in the creek with tennis shoes on, they're playing in the hose, whatever reason, and then they leave their wet, stinky shoes in, well, actually, I guess at the time they're not stinky, they leave their wet shoes in the entryway, and then over time the entryway starts to smell really bad. So today I had the kids take all the shoes outside, put them out in the sun to start airing them out, drying them, get the mildew smell away, and I'm going to work down here in the entryway, sweeping everything out and then cleaning these cubbies with some homemade spray that I made with vinegar and some lemon essential oil. I have the recipe on my blog, ourearlyhouse.com, so I can link that for you guys down below. But this actually goes in to another thing that as a mom of 7 kids, I don't really do or worry about anymore. I remember in the beginning part of my marriage having a very particular cleaning schedule, and not that anything's wrong with that. In fact, I really enjoyed having that. It really helped me to stay on track when I was kind of learning how to be a homemaker and having a certain day to clean the bathroom or the kitchen or the bedrooms, and days for laundry and doing sheets. But when your schedule starts to get a little bit busier, you have bigger families or you have bigger kids that are starting to go in all different directions, it can be hard to have a very set cleaning schedule. So now what I do is when I have a block of time, I just start cleaning what I see needs to be done. So there wasn't like a set day that I was like, okay, on this particular day, I am doing the entryway. I just happened to notice that it definitely needed my attention, and I had about 20 extra minutes, and so I went down there and gave it a little bit of a deep clean, and that's the same thing that I'm doing here to my sunroom. So it's not a set schedule, but just whenever you have a little bit of time, instead of sitting down and scrolling on the phone or doing something that maybe isn't quite as productive, just getting something done, and you'll be surprised with how much you can get done in a very small block of time. I just love this time of year with all the pretty blooms and flowers coming up. It's just, brings me so much joy. Anyway, the next thing that I want to address, and something that I find to be such a big part of my life and my children's as well, is that I do not worry at all. In fact, I like it when my kids are bored. I know that seems kind of funny, but the less things that they have, I think that they use their imagination so much more, and they come up with just the most fun, entertaining games and things to do. I don't let something like that bother me at all. I don't feel like I have to entertain them every second. I even like to have days where I tell them just to go outside and play in the woods, play with sticks, play with the dirt. And it's so funny because they will first kind of go out and they can't think of anything to do. They're all just kind of standing around looking at each other. So it's giving them 15, 20 minutes of boredom, and I promise you they will come up with the most fun, creative games. And it just gives me so much joy as a mother when I come outside and they're all playing together and using their imagination and playing some creative game that they came up with all on their own. I wanted to end this video with sharing a few clips from our fun little trip to Pella, Iowa. This is our second time going to see the tulips, and if you're anywhere near, you should make the drive. It is such a beautiful little cute town that does not disappoint.